Greetings and welcome back to another episode of Tough Toy Tryouts. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and set up alerts so you don't miss a single episode on the channel. This week, we're testing out a rather interesting toy called the Jumber by Kong. It's definitely not a chew toy, though it is rated for up to moderate chewing. This toy was meant for so much more. Roll it, bounce it, shake it all around, and yes, it does squeak. There's a lot to do with this plastic ball, and we're going to test them all, and maybe even throw in a fun game a little later in the episode. So, now that we know what we're testing out, let's roll this thing on over to Story and see how it holds up after a week's heavy abuse. And here it is, scuffed up to all hell, a couple punctures and a broken squeaker, but still intact more or less. To be fair, we didn't allow Story to chew on this toy too much since it's not rated for strong chewers, but we had a blast with it and so did Story. Now let's take a quick look at some dog toy bowling. So, how did the toy fare in our ratings? For safety, the toy receives a 4. There's very little that could go wrong with this toy, but the fact that we had to supervise all playtime made it a bit of a hassle. We'd likely never leave this toy out for Story while out of the house, so we can't give it a 5. As for design, I'm giving this a 5 only because that's as high as the scale goes. I seriously like this toy, and Story really enjoys rolling this thing around. The handles are great for playing tug, and they make for useful grips when playing fetch. The inner ball really captured Story's attention, which had her pushing this thing all throughout the house. Plus, the plastic material really made this thing bouncy, which made fetch all the better. Longevity isn't this toy's strong suit, but since it's not really a chew toy, I gave it some slack and gave it a 2. If I left this out for Story to destroy, it'd likely take about 15 minutes before the inner ball became the outer one. Luckily, Story was more about rolling this thing around than destroying it. That said, there were some moments where you could tell she really wanted that inner ball, so it had to be taken away. As for price, this receives a 5. At $4.51 on Chewy.com at the time of purchase, it's yet another case in which the large version was cheaper than the medium size. I'd say definitely go for the larger version if your dog is over 20 pounds, as it's pretty lightweight and almost half the price. So for those who'd rather not do math, that gives this awesome toy a 4 out of 5 bones. We really do like this thing, and it's pretty cheap. It's definitely not a chew toy, but if you're looking for a good fetch toy, I'd highly recommend this one. And so does Story as she slaps her seal of approval all over this ballception. And that's where we end this week's episode. But before you go, a quick announcement. We'll be out of town next week looking for a future house in sunny California, but don't worry because we have a video all ready for you. If you've liked this series so far, do us a huge favor and hit that like button, and please let us know if there's any toys you'd like to see Story try out. Until next time, have a fantastic week and thanks for watching.